have an amazing guest with me today. And as your mental health bestie, this is it's good to have you here. Especially in this climate where we are, where people are like, oh no, how can this happen? It's not, we just push everything away to one corner. And then people are suffering in silence. So we're here to discuss, we're here to talk about it, and we're trying to do our best to end the silence. That's what we're here to do. We're ending the silence around postpartum depression. And with me in the studio, in our studio, my studio and her studio, like she's another one of our mental health besties, and we're here depression. Okay, I am trying to pull up her profile so that I will read. That is the person that we have. She's a hot person, very very hot. And okay, so with me in the studio is Mrs. Chidima Ekene Okoli, and she's a certified therapist with great passion and interest in families, youth, and corporate sector. As a counselor, she's interested and intentional about helping youth chart right and relevant career paths. She has also helped people that have struggled with unhealthy addictions. So you see, we're not just we're here to give you like it's hot. We're dropping it like it's hot. She's also a convener of the Deborah Company and the Women Helping Women Initiative. Now, these are organizations that have been set up for women in all walks of life to enable them, us, harness and live our purposes in life. She believes so much in humanity and has a strong conviction that everyone is made for more. So I would like to welcome once again to this live session, Mrs. Chidima Ekene Okoli. You're welcome, sis. It's so good to have you. Very, very good to have you
Thank you
today.
so much. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I feel so
So I
honored being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us with the short notice that we gave, and like bam, you created an opportunity for us in on this platform. So we want to just go right into it. Can you just give it to us? What is this thing about postpartum depression? What is it? Because it's something that for some people is still new, for some people we've been at it. So let me hear it, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Postpartum depression, PPD, as we popularly call it, is actually and is not something that is beyond people. I start with a little story, and that happened to somebody, me, in person. I am a mother of four. After 11 years of having the last set of twins, I woke up one morning to find out that I'm pregnant after 11 years.
Wow.
And with a lot of circumstances surrounding my husband and myself at that point, it was looking as if I was irresponsible. Let me just use that word.
Mm,
And that was 2019. Lo and behold, I gave birth the day they locked down Nigeria,
my
31st of March.
goodness. My goodness.
It was not funny at all. It was looking, with everything about COVID, both the real and the unreal and everything. And then to add injury to, I be pepper to the injury, my baby had jaundice. So I had to go back to the hospital and I spent one extra week in the hospital. it was not funny. So postpartum depression, like I'll say, is actually just a mood disorder that causes persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. So
Mm.
at that point, a lot of things were going on my mind, now, limited movement. And while we were there, one day I just overheard the nurses whispering. They were talking to themselves, and that one woman died of that day. I packed my load. I was like,
Oh
Chichinwa,
my
we are going home.
goodness.
We are going
Wow.
home. When we get there, whatever we see, we will see it. It looked as if, do you understand?
Mm.
uh, there were a lot of feelings. You are looking as if you are irresponsible having a child after 10 years, and then jaundice, lockdown, nobody to talk to. Do you understand? So it's
Mm.
a normal experience. Then I didn't really understand until I started looking back, and I was like, so this is actually what happened to me. Some of you may be having these symptoms. It's not really baby blues, because baby blues happen to everybody,
Thank you.
especially their
Because
first time.
I wanted to ask, what's the difference between the postpartum blues or the baby blues and the postpartum depression? Because are there things that you can notice and say, oh, this is the difference?
Okay, the major difference is that baby blues just happen within the first to 10 days of your delivery. But once it's after 10 days, do you understand? And it's lasting more than 2 weeks, you are slipping into PPD. And
Depression.
if
Wow.
PPD is not attended to, it can lead to PPP. That is postpartum psychosis. At that point, you become a clinical case. But I'm talking to my fellow women and telling them that it is normal. You're a normal person. No village people is against you. It's
Thank
something
you,
that
Africa. The village people are after
that
us.
happens to someone, and there are a lot of things that could cause it. In my own case, it was because it's been long I gave birth, and coupled with the fact that I was out of job at that point, and a lot
Oh.
of things. It was looking for me, I looked as if I was irresponsible. Do you understand? And some people too, it may be a previous depression history. You may have had it before. Do you understand? You stand a risk of having that. Some people, single parenting and teenage marriage can cause PPD. Maybe
Wow.
somebody that is 18 years, and one man came, and you got involved and you got married, and you're like looking at yourself. Maybe you are in year one, others are talking of GP, and you are talking of baby, that kind of thing.
Mm,
And
mm,
then maybe the marriage didn't now work out, and you found out that you are left alone with pregnancy.
mm.
Having a child with a special needs can lead to PPD. You
Oh,
know what we mean by special need children? Maybe autism, something maybe
Down
happened at
syndrome
birth.
or something that,
Down
okay.
syndrome, yes. Marital and relationship conflicts. Oh, you shouldn't have a child now. We agreed we are not going to have children,
Mm.
and even the economy. In this era now, you now look
This
at
why
yourself
you
and you
just
find out that
mentioned
you're
this
pregnant.
economy. That's one of the reasons why I said we need to talk about it, because a lot of people, people are giving birth, people are still getting
Yeah,
married with this economy. Some people are even afraid that when you give birth, how will you survive? So sometimes that fear, I believe, can lead to some of all those,
yes,
postpartum
you're
depression,
right.
anxiety that comes, postpartum and all that. Really, it's
Yes, you're
happening
right.
to people. Mm.
You are right. Is financial challenges, especially maybe the couple, you are not planning for a child again, or you're saying wait, or maybe you just got married and you're like, I'm giving myself 2 years. All those claims we all usually have. No, we're going to
Mm,
enjoy
yeah, I
ourselves
want to
after
give
two
myself
years.
5 months, 2 years.
4 months ago, you
Yeah,
find
I'm
out that you are
ready.
pregnant.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it could be, and then other relationship conflicts. Do you understand? And even stressful period in that pregnancy. Maybe you are living in a room apartment, or a lot of
Mm,
things struggles, or do you understand? I've not gotten my baby things.
yeah.
There is nobody to take care of the child, and I'm a working class lady.
Mm,
You know, you can't slip into that. And changes in adulthood. You've been a single girl all through, you keep your things, you go to work, you come back, and now you're having to share your life with some other person, and boom, everything is changed, can cause
Yeah.
it. So, what are the symptoms? There is this feeling of sadness. I also want to let you know that you will love your baby. Oh. It's not as if the person that is going through PPD, she loves the
Don't
baby,
love
she's
their
okay,
baby.
the baby is fine, but there is this feeling of sadness. There is this anxious feeling. The person can be
Mm,
irritable. Oh, the
mm,
cup is not kept here, the room is not, getting worked up
mm.
over issues that does not even exist. Why didn't you buy this when you were coming back? Next thing, she starts crying.
Oh,
Tiredness.
goodness.
Tiredness, the person, fatigue. You wake up by 6 a.m. and you still want to sleep. Another symptom is loss of interest. The person just becomes unaware of what is happening around her. I think that was one
Mm,
of the things that happened to me then. There was this loss of interest. You are not seeing anybody. Every people, before they come to see baby, they will have to wash their hands. Plenty stories happening at that time. The social media were not helping. The television, if you turn it on, you are hearing so many news. This person has died. Even the ones that had the COVID, and you can't really place hand on the truth of the whole situation. And then you see outburst of cry. People are coming to see your baby, the person starts crying, and you're wondering, what's wrong with you? Nothing. That's the first language you hear. Nothing. What is wrong? Nothing. But you're crying,
nothing.
shedding serious
Mm,
tears. At times they're even wailing. Do you understand? And then
mm.
difficulty in thinking or focusing. Do you understand? The person is not articulate. You are talking this, the person is doing another thing. You can't focus on one thing. There is insomnia. you know Baby is sleeping. The usual
Go and
advice, as the
sleep.
baby is sleeping,
Go and
sleep with
sleep.
the baby.
Oh,
She's up. Is either she's washing or she's doing so many things at the same time, keeping
because
activity.
she's
Do you
unable to
understand?
sleep.
Exactly. You can't sleep, or in the middle of the night that baby is actually sleeping, helping you at that time. You see the person sitting inside in the sitting room watching television. I can't sleep. And then it could be also loss of appetite. They tell you to eat for two, you are breastfeeding, and you just see the person, she just tell you that, don't worry, I only want a cup of tea for the whole day, or she may not even take anything, or she will overload herself with plenty food, that even when
With
you're
things
waking
that
her up, take care of the baby, the
okay.
face that she's tired.
Mm,
And then some extreme cases, you start seeing suicidal thoughts. The
mm.
person start thinking thoughts of death. Why don't I just drop this? They will always
One thing
find
I
a
didn't
way.
mention before is that I actually went through this. I did. My own one. Amazingly. And really, I didn't, nothing happened at the first baby, second baby. It was around the third baby when it seemed like everything was supposed to be okay, everything was fine. But I said, you just don't, something just tell me, if you carry this child and throw it away, God. If I'm not joking, like, what's all this? It just comes like your head is loaded with thoughts of, you will not survive, the baby will not survive. What are you even
Exactly,
doing? I do know what you're doing as a woman. Thoughts that you just sometimes just literally want to run away from yourself.
exactly,
It's not funny.
exactly. It's not funny. I'm telling you, it's not a very good situation then. But then I want to tell our fellow women out there that you are not alone.
Mm,
Most times there are a lot of stories, some mother-in-laws or even relatives will start calling you Abiku or Banje.
mm-hmm.
Nothing is wrong with you, my dear sister. You just need medical help. And when you notice it, even husbands, I'm talking to some husbands or men in our
I
lives that
was
are
waiting for you.
listening to
you
us. When you
do you know
observe this in your child,
a research conducted by University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital discovered that 1 in 10 men, that's amongst every 10 fathers, new fathers, one out
yes,
of them experiences postpartum depression in
yes,
Nigeria. So postpartum
yes.
depression is
Somehow
not
the
restricted
mood
to
is the
women.
disorder is transferably, especially when the spouse doesn't understand what the wife is going through. Next thing, you
Exactly.
just come out of the house, go to the normal joint to start drinking. You start picking up
Mm-hmm.
habits that would
Mm-hmm.
even overburden the same lady.
The
But
same
when you just
lady.
notice this, that is 10 days, is 2 weeks, is 3 weeks, and my wife doesn't seem to be getting along. Okay, we seek medical help. And
Mm,
they will give you some antidepressants. I'm not a medical personnel, so I can't give you the names, but just seek a medical help. Once
mm,
you get to the doctor, they know what to do. And then secondly, in my own case, I one day, one fine morning, after bathing Chichinwa that day, I just left and told my sister I was coming. I took a long walk, almost
wow.
like 1 kilometer. I was walking and I was looking around. I was like, oh, so like I saw people frying akara. I saw people doing things. I was like, so life is still going on even without, even some people were blasting music, some were sitting down in clusters gisting. And I life was going on, the sun was shining, the everything. In fact, I admired the nature. I was very happy. By the time, it's as if some cobwebs were being removed from my head, as in I saw
Go for it.
reality. I became
I feel
happy.
you.
And when I came home, I said, COVID or no COVID, I just called 2 or 3 of my friends. I said, please, you people should be coming. That nobody was allowed to go out. So people are already around
Yes.
in the neighborhood. So I told them, come around. We will watch television. We will gist, mop the house, do a lot of things. Around 9, 10, they are leaving. Baby is sleeping. I'm sleeping. When she wakes up in the night, in fact, we are just doing some crazy thing. When she wakes up, we will bring out chin chin. That kind of thing. Start gisting. And by the time I knew what was happening, I was like, me, I was now, when COVID was now relapsed, as in the no movement, I was now craving for those intimate moments again with my friends. And by the time I knew what
Mm,
was happening, I adjusted. And then you can talk to someone.
thank
Please, my
you. Very
fellow women,
important. Because
please talk to someone.
we're getting to how can we help, each other. Because there are times when we're experiencing things, we're not open. Like I was even talking with a client today, and I was talking with her. She said she doesn't even know how to ask for help. She doesn't know how to tell people she needs help. She doesn't know how to open up and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. How can, if, because sometimes really, because of the way society has labeled this thing, it's like we are a problem. Like you are evil for you to be feeling the way you're feeling, and your feelings are not valid. How then, how
Okay.
can we now, we that, what one of the things we're doing now is why we're talking about it. But for someone that probably has never given birth, maybe the husband to a woman. I had a client who the husband was like, I'm tired. They had to commit the woman to a mental care facility. The husband was
Yeah.
like, I'm tired. She knows what to do, and she refuses to do it. And I'm like, okay, calm down. She's not pretending. She's not trying not to like this baby. It's just she can't help it, but she needs support. So now, how can we be the support system? Please, can you throw more light? One of the things you
Okay.
said is that they came to visit you, but what else are the things that we
When
can do
when
to
you
be a
talk to
support system?
someone, and you all, I'm going to look at it all from 2 sides. You went in to visit someone, you're always around the person, you are helping her out. I want you to look beyond the normal. Don't be a judgmental friend. Nobody
Mm,
wants to be judged. Everybody wants to be empathized with. Listen, and listen well. Be a good listener and a good observer. You may come in and visit her, she's with all smile. Some people know how to cover up. But if you
mm,
listen well and you are very observant, you will know that some things are not okay. Then don't help the person to sink more into that trauma. Talk the person out of it. Bring the
mm,
brighter side of it. Don't color that depression more for that person.
mhm,
Always have stories, even share with her that is common with her. Do not be judgmental. And then seek ways. You can sing songs. Then another way you can do it is by playing music in the home, lively ones, that can lift up the person's soul.
mm,
And then the other side too, if you are the one that is being helped, or you are the one that gave birth, or you are going through PPD, try as much as possible to loosen up and trust people, at least to know that your secret stays with them. Open up,
Mm,
tell them how you are feeling. When you talk about it, someone will be able to help. Don't
mm,
bottle up your emotions. If you are
mm,
crying, cry. It is allowed. Crying is not a weakness.
mm.
Crying
Yes,
is not a weakness.
crying
Do you
is not a
understand? It's
weakness.
not. It's not. Just tell the person the way it is and open up. Do you understand? When the person hears you, the person will know what to do and even know how to support you. Do you understand? If you are
Mm-hmm.
um um if you have your family members around you, speak out. Tell the person, please, if baby wakes up, I want you to be around me. Let's talk, let's gist. Can you be joining me in the night vigil? Just jokingly. You mustn't be the one to wash the baby clothes. Say that you need help. If you need, yes, you can't do all
Mm,
things. You understand? Delegate and learn to trust that delegation. Start having some adjustment. Do you understand? Around yourself. Talk positively to yourself. Speak nice things to yourself. Your world is not crashed because you had a baby. Is something good and is a gift from God, you know. And then this walking meditation, I recommend it. If you're a husband here, you can actually help your wife. Maybe baby is sleeping and you have an old elderly person, maybe momsy is around, an elderly person. Just tell the person, please excuse us. Take your wife, take a long walk, look around the environment, remind her of those beautiful things before now. With that, as you keep working out, doing nature therapy, I call it nature therapy. By
okay.
the time you know what is happening, you relapse more. You come back to reality and you start enjoying life. And then if you're a working class lady or a career person, start looking towards starting work. Do you understand? Once you start thinking about it, I'm going to start work in the next four
Okay.
months. What are the
Beautiful. Okay.
adjustments? You have
Okay.
you have things on. You're not even thinking about it again, and you will become.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. So have something that you're looking forward to, something you're
Yes.
looking towards, something, at least keep something before you consistently, maybe telling yourself, I'll soon start work, I'll soon,
Mm,
or let me even start preparing my clothes. But I hope
yeah.
that's not even going to worsen the situation,
No, no,
because
no,
you
it's
know the
not.
changes in your body, the things you used to wear normally. Now
unless
you have to
unless there
consider
is
maybe
a
you're going to
mental stress
breastfeed, you're
already
going.
happening at the workplace. But if not, if you are
Mm,
looking forward to going back to the office, you shouldn't have a problem. It
okay,
will help you.
okay,
I
wow,
also want to
wow.
tell us that postpartum depression is not a sign of weakness. So please, my sister, it's not a reflection of, and that is also what we should be doing as caregivers and people that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, don't start telling the person, see this sister, why is your own different? The other, see a small
Thank
girl
you.
the other day gave birth and she's up and doing, you are just there. No,
Comparison, comparing.
no, no,
You know,
no, no, no,
sometimes
no,
it's
no,
even
no.
so serious that we come and we compare the child. Your first child has nose like this. Why is this one black like your own?
Yeah.
Why is this one not yellow like this? Why is you even and sometimes we say that thing and just drop the comment and walk away like it's easy. Then the person goes back and they are thinking over it like the other one
Yes,
was
yes,
strong. And you know, each pregnancy, that's another thing I want to stress. Each pregnancy is different. Your each
yes.
human body is different. So you cannot say because it was like this in the first child, or it
It
was like
must be
this in
like
your
that.
sister's own or the other person's own. So it has to be like that for you. Every particular pregnancy is different, and the body of every human being is different from the other person. You know, so it's also for us to please take notes that is don't take it, put everything on yourself like it is you that has caused it. But that brings
Exactly.
me to prevention. Prevention.
Okay.
Is there any way Because from research, as a therapist, is there any way
Yes.
that we can prevent it? When we say, okay, I have prevented, I know for sure that I am not going to experience postpartum. Because one of my clients, I know they watch this later, is she
Mm,
she she was diagnosed with postpartum depression. It lasted
wow.
for a
Even
while.
before.
Yes, she was almost committed to she was actually committed to a mental care home. Like, she was
Hmm.
taken to a hospital. It was so bad. In her case, she couldn't even look at her child. So it was when they had managed her a little with drugs, then she was referred to me to help out with the talk therapy part and all that. And we worked. Then halfway into it, she found out she was pregnant again. So the fear
Yeah.
of, I've not finished surviving this first baby. Are you sure I am not going to experience this again? Are you sure I'm not going to go through this again? Are you sure I'm going to be different? Amazingly, she's better. She has given birth and she's better. But
Very.
how
Oh,
do we
wow.
address the prevention part? Is there any way? Are there maybe things we can put in place to probably prevent it from being as bad or from happening at all? Please.
What I will encourage is this: is a two-way prevention. I wish our medical personnel will really look into our antenatal classes. Let it not just be a period of going to eat groundnut and gist with other women and buy uri and buy baby things and buy soya milk and eat very well. Antenatal days are the days you eat very
Ah, you
well.
eat,
There will always be
collect
this
money from your
particular
husband and go
jollof
and
rice
enjoy.
that. Beyond that,
Mm.
let our antenatal visit be a very robust one. If you're a mental health person or a not a caregiver attending to women that are pregnant, please let these things be inculcated in the curriculum of what they teach women. And then when you meet your doctor, you are safe with your doctor. Do you understand? Tell the person some of the things that are happening
Mm,
and let
mm,
them hear you out. Do you understand? Not just go and take that injection, do your test, and you say, okay, I'm fine. No, no, no protein. My was the blood count is okay, I'm fine. You just gist with your fellow
see,
women and go. Yes.
mm.
If you are noticing some signs, seek medical attention. And if you also have previous history of depression, also let your doctor know. Once your caregiver know, they will know what to do to you and to help you. In fact, that draws my attention to some of the things that cause, especially when we go for all this antenatal, this issue of giving birth via CS or vaginal birth has destroyed a lot of women. Every way of giving birth is God's given way, please.
Is a way, yes.
Is
Safety
a
of the
way.
mother and the child. That's
You
safety,
must
yes.
deliver like the Hebrew women. You are a Nigerian. Please, you know, such stories, people
Now I
bring up
choke.
some stories and they leave other women going home feeling that their own case is different. If your doctor diagnoses and says that cutting you open is the safest thing for you, please, my dear, take it to God in prayer and accept it in good faith. You are not a lesser human being, and that you're a very good mother doesn't mean you cannot experience postpartum depression. Do you understand? I'm a very good Christian mother. No, it's hormonal changes, genetics, a lot of things are involved. So just accept yourself for who you are. Take your antenatal serious, and then have people that you open up to, that you know that you are safe with. You can share with the person. See. Even down to maybe you don't have money to pay for hospital bill. By letting it out, somebody may give you a bright idea, and
Mm,
you will give birth
mm.
successfully. Don't bottle up. People are dying in silence. Just open up and talk. And even I even used to tell my fellow women, the highest they can gist about you is 3 days. After 3 days, a gossip is stale. But when you
that
are
it's
even telling
over.
the person will be like, I have heard it now, there's nothing new. It ends. So don't be afraid of they will gossip about me. Just open up. Somebody may give you a bright idea on how to go about it. You must not pick your baby things from big stores. You can do thrift collection and pick up nice things that people will be wondering where you got it from. Do you understand? So all these little things
Yeah.
help your spouse understand your spouse level financially, know what is happening. Even if it's an unplanned child, thank God. Do you understand? And be grateful. Develop an attitude of thankfulness. Just develop it gradually. It rubs off on everything. When you begin to be thankful, happy about your situation, you find out that somehow things start adding up and you'll be better off at the end of the day.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. And that brings me now to the child, because we're focusing on the SDG goal, the Sustainable Development Goal of ensuring safety, cutting off every form of maternal mortality and child mortality and all. So, what
Yes.
are the risk factors, as regards the emotional state of the mother and how it affects the child? Because I was actually sharing with someone today, and I was telling her that the emotional state of the mother affects the child. But I want you, so that, because we brought you to come and gist us as our mental health friend and partner that is supporting this project. What are the things that can affect, like, can it affect the child? How can it
Very
affect the
well.
child?
It's
And
emotions, will I say, emotions are transferable.
mm,
When a child knows when he or she is not welcomed, you can't pretend for long. I will say that your emotional state is also directly proportional to the emotional and health state of your child. If you are undergoing PPD and you are not seeking help, it will affect the child's well-being. The child will become cranky, the child will be feeling isolated, the child cries anyhow. The child, it may even affect the feeding of that child, because some symptoms of PPD, your breast milk can stop flowing. And if that child is not feeding well, the child is prone to diseases too. Do you understand? You will now see
yeah.
some children, even if they will even it even leads them to sucking of their thumb. They will now result to, instead of sucking mother's breast, they will start sucking their hand, and they will start developing some unhealthy habits, which at the end of the day you start running around again to stop them. Your emotional well-being as a mother affects your home generally. It speaks a lot. There is an atmosphere. In fact, if you are very, very detailed and observant, if you walk into a home of a person undergoing PPD, you will know. It reflects in
Mm,
everything.
mm,
And you don't want to put that child in that um, situation. If he or she grows up with that, he's going to be she's going to have a mental disorder towards some certain things.
mm.
And as I'm addressing this, I'm addressing gender preference. Maybe in the side we are coming from, there is this recognition of the male children that they are the child, while the female children are
Both the female
pikin.
children.
I know one that had some girls, and when she went in and saw that she's still going to have a girl, she slipped into depression because the husband wanted a boy. And that child grew up with that feeling that she was never wanted
Yeah.
in the child, and it affected the child. So please, all your beliefs, all your wishes, please keep them away from your child. Remove what you say around a child. Even this also reaches to people that give birth to twins, maybe identical twins. Oh, baby A eats very well, this one doesn't eat very well, this one cries too much, this one, they are listening to you, and they will grow up and say this one is more loved. It even leads to siblings rivalry. At that early stage they start nursing that, and by the time they grow up the child start displaying it. So please, let's be very careful. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So another question I want to ask Is it only people that have had history of like say women that have had history of mental health issues that are affected by postpartum depression? So because someone has probably had anxiety or something before, prior to childbirth or something, does it mean that they are the only ones that ever experience postpartum depression? Okay. Are you still there? Are you still there? Okay, I guess her network has a bit of an issue. So the truth about it, like we're just saying now, is that postpartum depression is not particular to only people that have had probably a mental health issue. It can affect any and
Take her
every
back life.
woman. Okay, yeah, she's back.
It can
Yes,
happen to
she's back. Okay,
anybody.
good, good.
It can happen to any.
Okay. Mm, okay. So it's very, very important to recognize the risk factors, recognize what is going on, recognize what is happening to you, like the symptoms she mentioned. What are the symptoms, regardless of your past experiences? What is happening now? What is going on now? What is going on with you right now? And that's why it's necessary. That's why there is a post delivery checkup. Aside from going for post delivery, okay. Aside from going for post delivery checkup to just check your body, it's also important to check your mental health, your mental state, what is going on with you right there. Okay, so it can
Mm.
affect anybody from what you
Yes,
said
ma'am.
and what
Yes, ma'am.
we have. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Another question we have is, if a woman looks happy, does it mean because she looks happy, she cannot experience postpartum depression? Is it about the way she looks? It's a question. Is it about the way a
Mm.
woman looks?
Forget about
Because there are some people that
facial.
have, like me, there are some people that have natural smiley face and you can be going through things. But is it about the way the person looks? Putting on
Forget
that
about facial expression. A lot of things are masked under makeup and smiles. A lot, a lot. That's why it's good to ask the beyond WH questions, you know. Don't just say, how are you?
wow.
Seek to listen and listen well. Seek to ask question. Seek to ask open-ended question to people. They may be smiling and how are you? Fine. How is everything? There is a common language in Nigeria. It's well, even if
Mm,
the person is inside the well. So when the person tells you it's well and smiling, just tell, I want to know the level where you are inside the well. Just
mm.
explain. Are you on top or below? By the time you
I'm
start
on
asking
one.
those details,
Okay, so if somebody tells you it is well, ask them
yes,
how deep. How
how
deep?
deep? Are
Oh
you
my
on the
goodness.
upper part
I
of the
love
well
this one.
or inside? Or are you by the side or
Okay.
about to jump into? By the time you ask all those questions, you'll be able to find out. And people can be smiling and be telling you some things. They'll be like,
Mm,
it's well, no, don't worry. One day you people will not see me again.
mm.
That person may be actually be telling you that she's planning suicide, but she's smiling. Don't worry, one
Yes.
day you people will not see me again, no issues. You'll be now be happy. You hear? Bye. The person dropped a message for you. So as they are talking, listen to the unsaid words, even by their expression. Somebody might tell you it is well, but you can see that she's hiding something behind her, or the body language is saying another thing. So it's just beyond listening to ordinary words or the makeups or the things that people use to cover up. Ask real life questions and you will get
Mm.
answer.
Wow. Ask real questions, like be real. Be real. Be real. I like that. Be real. So even you that is going to visit, or someone that has given birth, and you're going to
Yeah.
take care of her, you're visiting her, ask real questions and be real. Be there. Don't be there just to see baby and fulfill all righteousness, or just so
Righteousness,
that it will be that
exactly.
you've done it. Be there for the person. Don't just be there because the baby is beautiful or the baby is handsome or the baby is chubby. Be there because this woman is meant to sustain the her mental health is also important. That's
Yeah.
very, very important. Okay, be real. Ask real questions. So, like you said, those WH questions. So, you're saying we should, when we go to visit people like that, or maybe even when we go to see them in the hospital, because these are some of the things that we do that propagate. See this baby's nose. Why did you give birth like this? There are some questions that we ask that makes the person feel less than themselves. They may not tell you, they may put on a mask of I'm fine, but
Mm,
subsequently that
mm.
thing will fester and cause some or harm or damage. So
And then
questions
even
like,
tales of woes, like maybe
okay,
so you go there and the baby has jaundice. That's when you now remember series of women that their children went blind because they had jaundice. You now start dishing it
oh,
out for the person. By the time you finish sharing those testimonies, the person will just conclude that my child is the number 10.
those
Happily.
negative
You understand? So
testimonies.
let's be gracious. Women, let's be there for one another, even our husbands. Let's not say things, oh, the breast milk is not flowing well. Are these not other women in the world? Is their own different? Let's be careful what we tell one another. Let's be there to uplift one another. Empathy. I talk about it all the time. Put
Thank
people in
you.
your
Empathy.
shoes.
Mm.
If you know that thing that you will not like anybody to tell you, don't tell another person. In fact, when it's not uplifting, keep your mouth shut. If you have genuine concern, look for a way. Oh, you can say, sis, I think this baby, let's ask the nurse. I don't like the way she's breathing. Can we just ask the nurse to check? Do you understand? Or you can leave her and seek the caregiver on a see, I have a little observation. Is this okay? Or is there something we can do differently for this person? Not just
Mm.
pouring it on their faces as if you are Madam Know It All. No, please, let's be caregivers and genuine friends and genuine sisters to people around us.
Talking about this, there's something, when I gave birth to my first child, there was a particular visit I don't forget. Amazingly, I studied psychology. I knew what postpartum depression was. So it's different from, what you've studied, what you've learned, and what you
Mm,
experience. There were two women that came to visit me, two women I respect. And I don't forget that. So it's that serious that I don't forget that visit. Because they were just talking and they were talking about their experiences, how, the symptoms. For me, it was like they were literally just preparing me for what may happen. So
yeah.
every time I look back, I'm like, thank God, I still am grateful to them, both of them, for coming to
Mm,
visit me. And then the chain of conversations they had were not things that was going to put me down or make me feel less. They were saying things that was going to prepare me. They were not saying it was going to happen, but in case this happens, these are the things you can do. These are the things you can do. Aside from having your family as a support system or having people come and visit you. You also mentioned talking with your healthcare giver. I want you to please help us stress it again. Because the
yeah.
truth is, I've experienced a situation where you talk with your doctor, your doctor, and then he tells you, Madam, there's nothing wrong with you. And you're like, excuse me, I'm telling you what I am experiencing. And then they just say, Madam, there's nothing wrong with you. That lack of empathy, lack of, support for what you're doing. Please help us stress it again so that our medical personnel that will listen to this can hear it. Please.
Please, medical personnel, help us. Help our women. Help us. Let antenatal not just be a time to check has she bought all the things she's supposed to bring to the hospital. Let it go beyond checking the blood count. Let it go beyond checking the urine and the rest. Talk to our women. And my fellow woman, when you go for antenatal, don't just eat groundnut and eat the food, the popular restaurant that is there. You know, when I was pregnant, there is this particular, that you would always eat. Leave all those things and talk about issues concerning you. Because in Nigeria, we have this communal life. What of our sisters abroad that don't have anybody living with them?
Yes. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
They
Because
don't have
that's
anybody
one of
living
the
with them.
problems. To have a nanny abroad, I have people that watch this that are not in Nigeria presently, or even
Yes.
I have clients in Kenya. I have people that watch from South Africa and Uganda and some other, African countries, and even outside Africa. These are real issues. How do we now
Yes.
transit from you don't have people? I don't know if even virtual calls matter. Like maybe when people call you virtually, they want to check up on you, they want to visit with you virtually. Because even that period you're talking about when there was a lockdown, it was a major time when people experienced depression. How can we
Yes.
help our people out there that are like, oh my goodness, please, because
I've not lived there, but I think I have people. What some of them do is you to survive over there, you must have a somewhat community life, either as a group of people, your townspeople, your church people. Do you understand? Don't just stay alone. Don't just stay in isolation. Have one or two people. Even if the hospital is not allowing anybody to come around you, or because of the way abroad is, still have that community of people you hang around with, your classmates, that you can tell one or two things. Everybody is busy over there, we know, but please, as much as it lies in you, don't just stay alone. Talk to everybody. There are even than us here in our medical lines, seek to say, okay, I want to see a therapist.
mm,
Is your right? I want to see a
mm,
therapist. Okay, can I tell you this? Is this normal? This is how I'm feeling. Is it okay?
mm,
And once the
mm,
person talks with you and listens to you beyond words and know that you are fine, then you are fine. Do you understand? Make your spouse your companion. Do you understand? Sorry to I will have to use it. The Bible says older women teach, don't condemn, help.
mm,
Teach the
mm,
younger ones. Do you
mm,
understand? You that have experienced something, help your younger one. Do you
mm,
understand? Teach her, don't condemn her, don't criticize her, don't rub it on her face, don't put her down. Just teach her and nurture her. Tell her the things, like you said, those elderly women that met you.
mm,
Her
mm, 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 mm,
know that she's not alone. These type of things that if you have some online blog that talk genuinely, not people that are after money, do you understand?
mm,
Talk to them, log on and listen to them, listen to good music. Do you understand? It will revive your soul. Talk to yourself around, not condemning yourself. Speak life to you that this phase is over. It will soon be over. I'll be fine. Maybe we soon grow and enter school and everybody will be okay.
mm,
Think
mm.
positive, speak positively, and you'll be fine.
Wow. 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 This has been a very, very enlightening session. Thank you so much for even sharing your experiences with us. Like you're actually doing what you said we should do, talk with the younger ones or the people that are, because a lot of people are going through it, but we're no more going to keep quiet and just allow people go through it and label it as they have done evil. And I also want to stress, please, our men, I know I'm talking to, because we know when we are talking to us. Men go through
Mm.
these things as well. Men go through this form of depression, postpartum depression. So find your support system. It is not you are not asking for help does not mean you are less of a man or you are less of a
Yeah.
woman. Ask for help if it's amongst your guys or people you are comfortable talking with. Sometimes even talking with other men, like, what is it like? You're now a father, or hey, Papa too, or father of three. How is it in this economy? How are you coping? Just
Mm.
those casual conversations, uplifting conversations are things that will help us because we are stronger together. In as much as
Yeah.
there's that separation and distance and everything is almost virtual now.